Okay, I'm not saying that white people can't have dreadlocks, nor am I saying that only black people can. But let's be realistic here, okay? Have you ever in your lifetime seen somebody that was white or Latin or Asian or any other ethnicity besides black that had dreadlocks and you were like, yes, that guy or gal is killing it right now? I'm just saying that, you know, everybody's allowed to have them, but there's only one group that actually looks good with them, and that's black people. You know, I wish this was the argument made whenever they talk about cultural appropriation or whatever. The reality is that these things don't belong to one culture or the other. It's just that some things look better on different ethnicities than others. Dreadlocks, cornrows, braids of any sort outside of like fucking ponytails or, you know, I don't know. I don't know the fucking names, French braids or whatever. You know, only one group looks good with those hairstyles. And it really boggles my mind why anybody that's not black, why they have this desire to look stupid. And let's call a spade here. If you're white and you have fucking dreadlocks or cornrows in your hair, you look stupid. You look extremely fucking stupid. There's never been an instance in all of fucking the history of mankind where somebody has been like, you know what's a good look for people with extremely pale skin? Fucking dreadlocks. Oh yeah, it's a good fucking look. What it makes you look like, and granted, 9 times out of 10, the white people that, you know, decide that they're gonna have dreadlocks are usually fucking, they listen to fucking ska. For those of you who don't know what ska is, it's basically reggae. I don't know why they fucking changed the name of it. They listen to reggae. They smoke a lot of weed, typically. And, you're never going to find like a nuclear physicist, a white nuclear physicist with dreadlocks, because, it just like, it's sort of like, I don't know. Like when you see somebody with fucking tattoos on their face, it's like, yeah, you sort of expect that their level of intelligence isn't too high, right? And I know that there's somebody listening that has a tattoo on their face that's getting all fucking upset, but let's be realistic. If you were fucking smart, you never would have fucking put a tattoo on your face, because, you're not always going to be 20 or fucking 30. Eventually you're going to be, 50 and 60, and you're going to have all these stupid fucking tattoos all over your face, scaring the dog shit out of your fucking grandchildren. And I'm not against tattoos. I'm fucking covered in tattoos. But one thing I do not, or I have not done and will not do, is tattoo my face or my neck. Any place that basically makes me look like some sort of fucking thug, or I don't know. It's not a good look, and I doubt you will ever find, outside of maybe New Zealand, where the tribal tattooed faces thing is sort of for them it's a cultural thing. There you might find nuclear physicists or whatever, sort of fucking smart guy job you can think of. You might find some there because culturally that is, completely acceptable. But anywhere else, you're pretty much just advertising, hey, I'm kind of a fucking idiot. Oh, what kind of way is that to fucking Welcome back yourself into the podcasting world. It has been at least 2 months, 3 months maybe, I don't even know, since the last time I dropped a podcast, and classic me, I decide to come on and just insult people. If you haven't figured out by now that some or most of this is just me fucking joking, just what's the fucking phrase? Breaking your balls over there. If you haven't figured that out, then I don't know. You're probably listening to the wrong podcast. There is a grain of truth in what I'm fucking saying. Maybe in 20 or 10, 15, 20 years, maybe you will see fucking physicists with facial tattoos and dreadlocks or whatever that aren't African American. Obviously, there are plenty of brilliant, genius level African Americans with dreadlocks. And the thing is it's not an unusual, like you wouldn't look at that and be like, oh, really? I don't know. It would just be like, oh yeah, maybe they have some sort of ties to like the Caribbean or whatever. That would be like the first thought. It wouldn't be like, is that guy high right now? I don't know. It started off as me saying, hey, I'm just fucking with you. And it still sounds like I'm talking shit, but, it is what it is. This is the effing podcast for those of you that turn this on in the fucking dark and are like, well, what the fuck am I listening to? This is the effing podcast. Usually I say like, oh yeah, I do one of these, once a week. But, like I said earlier, it's been at least 2 months, I think. I'm not sure. Could be longer, could be a little bit shorter, but it's been a while. And the reason for that is that I've just been busy. In fact, okay, to be on, I have been busy, but to be completely honest, I have recorded a couple of podcasts prior to this one. It's just that when I go back and listen to them, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to fucking release that. So there's been I've recorded like 2 or 3 that I just never released. And, who knows? This might be another one of them. I might, you may not ever hear this one. I'm hoping that I'll be able to release this one, and if not, I'll do another. But yeah, so it's been a while. Usually I do at least one of these a week, but lately that just hasn't been happening. And for the long time listeners or whatever, my apologies for fucking disappearing and just, giving you no heads up, no idea what's going on. I've just been busy. I got work, kids, the usual shit, right? If you are a long time listener, you understand it. I've got kids, I've got work, I got other shit going on. The podcast thing is really just an opportunity for me to sit around and talk to myself and pretend like I am bettering the world somehow by putting my thoughts out there. It's not a job. I'm not trying to make money off. If you guys want to give me money, I'm completely fucking okay with that. But, I'm not doing this for fucking money. In fact, it's not like I have a huge following anyway. I think I was at like 17 regular fucking, there's lots of people that listen, but as far as like the regulars, there's like 17, which is fucking sad. But since I haven't put out a podcast in fucking forever, I'm sure that number has dropped pretty fucking pretty much below that. So, but I'm gonna try and make a fucking comeback. Of course, I know starting it by insulting white people with dreadlocks probably wasn't the greatest way to make a comeback, but it had to be said. Okay, it does not look good on you. Same thing with cornrows. If you're Latin, you can kind of pull off cornrows, kind of, but it all depends like what you wear with it. But even then I'd be like, you probably shouldn't. And if you're Asian, you should definitely not And the reason that, okay, this is where this fucking thought came from, right? I was at, where the fuck was I? I was out somewhere. Can't remember where. Like last week or the week before, whatever. And this guy, I think I was at the mall. Yeah, I was at the mall, right? I don't know what the fuck I was doing at the mall, but I was there. And this guy comes walking through. And he doesn't have dreadlocks or anything. In fact, he isn't even white. He's Asian, right? But he comes walking through, and he's got like the hip hop costume on, meaning he's got the skinny jeans that are sagging, showing his ass, and they're like, what is it? What do they call it? The fucking, what is it? Stonewash or whatever, where it's fucking faded and shit. It looks like it's been worn for fucking ever, but most likely he just bought it that way. So he's got the faded skinny jeans sagging. He's got I believe he was wearing a shirt that said Balenciaga or whatever. That fucking I'm probably not pronouncing it right. It's supposed to be some expensive brand name fucking whatever, right? He's wearing a shirt that has that written everywhere. It's a little too big for him. It's not quite fucking nightgown sort of length, but it's definitely, he could definitely, go for a size or two smaller. And he has cornrows. I can see that he has cornrows, but he's also wearing a do-rag and a fucking baseball cap on top of that. So so picture your typical rapper. That's what this dude, that's the look he was going for. And I mean, I applaud that he was like, yeah, this is a good look. I'll go out in public looking like this. I applaud that, but it was by far like the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen in my entire life. And this dude was probably like 5'4". He had glasses, which, I'm not saying that wearing glasses automatically means you're weak or whatever. I mean, obviously, there's lots of people that wear glasses that, could kick the shit out of me. Right. But it didn't look right. Like, I almost thought like, okay, somebody is pulling a fucking prank here. There's no way this dude came in here and was serious about this look. 'Cause it was like Asian nerd meets fucking Jay-Z or some shit. It was ridiculous. And and naturally it made me think like, well, why the fuck would he come out of the house looking like that? And then it's like, well, the natural leap was, well, why is it that white people want to wear fucking cornrows or dreadlocks, knowing, it looks fucking stupid. It looks dumb. It does not look good on you. I know that, that they're like, I don't know, if you listen to like Joe Rogan, he's talking about like, well, the Vikings, used to have dreadlocks and all that other, who gives a shit? It probably didn't look good on them either. It doesn't look good. If you're white, it does not look good on you. It does not look good on you. In fact, it looks fucking stupid. But I mean, if that's your style, then, by all means, what do they say? Do you, boo, or whatever stupid fucking phrases. It just, I don't know. It got me thinking, and then I was like, hey, that'll make for a fucking, 15-minute fucking discussion on my podcast. Yeah. I don't know. It's just, why would you want to look stupid? That's the thing that I don't understand. Like, I would never fucking, I can't anymore because, I fucking shave my head. But, like, I wouldn't wear fucking cornrows. I would just wear what looks good on somebody of my ethnicity. I don't know. That's my fucking dog. If you can't hear. Unfortunately, I'm using a different software to record this podcast on that I haven't quite learned yet. So I don't know how to fucking pause this. So the only way for me to stop all that fucking barking is to walk away from the microphone and have you listen to me fucking call my dog. And, you know, that sounds kind of unprofessional, but hey, you know, that's what it is. I have to use a different software, because the one that I was using before, it's starting to get real glitchy. I don't know, if you've heard it in other podcasts where, you know, where I'll be talking about something and then it seems like it just fucking skips to like the ending of the fucking discussion. I don't know what was going on with the software, but it was freezing up while I was talking, and then it would come back on and it would just completely fuck the podcast up. So I had to switch. I was using Audacity. It is a great fucking software, but for me, it's been fucking glitchy, so I switched, in case you're wondering, to fucking, what do you call this, Ocen audio, OCEN audio, and so far it looks good, but, you know, this is the very first time for me using it. In fact, I downloaded it like 5 minutes before I decided to do this podcast, so I'm still like, how do you fucking work this shit? I'm hoping that all of this is being picked up. Okay, this is fucking driving me nuts. You're gonna have to fucking just sit here for a second while I fucking deal with this. My apologies for the dead air or whatever the fuck, but it is what it is. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I'm just gonna let this mutt in the fucking house. Hey. Come on, hurry up. Doing a podcast. Come on. Hurry up. Get in here. Alright, and here I come. I'm coming back. Back. Let me put on the fucking headphones. Momo, go lay down or do something. I just spent probably 2 minutes having people listening to me call you. Anyway. Fucking, so yeah, I switched fucking software. Hopefully this sounds better, or, you know, at least it won't fucking skip. That's really all I fucking care about. I mean, you know, it's not like there was some huge production fucking value being put into the podcast prior to this. It's just that, you know, this time, you know, I'll be discussing something and it won't just skip ahead like, you know, like I just fucking had like a stroke or some shit. What the fuck should we talk about? I haven't heard too much about this lately, but the dumb fucking arguments against banning e-cigarettes that I keep hearing, or the Juul. For fuck's sakes, people. Okay, like, what are the common fucking arguments, right? That only 6 people have fucking died, right? That's I don't know. Maybe it's more now. Maybe it's more than 6. Maybe it's like 8. I don't fucking know. You know, what's another one? Oh, I don't hear a call for a ban on fucking cigarettes, right? That's another one. Or they're not doing it right. Or I think the most common one right now is that, oh, they were using black market fucking knockoff ones, and that's why it fucking happened. I'm not sure if I've talked about this. It's been so long since I made a fucking podcast, so if this is a repeat of the previous podcast, my apologies. But these are by far the stupidest fucking arguments I've ever heard in my goddamn life. Okay? There's a reason that they're trying to fucking put a stop to it now. Instead of waiting 20, 30, 40, fucking 50, 100 years. I don't know how long fucking cigarettes have been a thing. Instead of waiting, 100, maybe 100 years, to finally tell people, hey, fucking inhaling cigarette smoke, probably not so good for your fucking lung. Instead of waiting until people are dropping dead from lung cancer, they're trying to stamp it out now. You fucking idiots. Okay, what are they supposed to do? Wait until, 10, 15, 20 years and, when people fucking are having to get lung transplants or dropping dead out of nowhere because they can't, is that when they're supposed to ban it? I mean, that is, I get it. You probably weren't thinking of that. Right? You're probably just thinking, oh, you're trying to take something away from me. It's kind of like the people, the Second Amendment people that, are just anti any sort of fucking reform because God forbid, anybody do anything about the fucking mass shooting, problem in this country. It's sort of the same fucking just knee-jerk reaction. Just don't take anything away from me. Even if what they're proposing is just stop fucking advertising it with flavors that attract kids. That's the thing that I don't get about you fucking people. Is they're trying to keep kids away from it. Right? They didn't come up with like Fruity Pebbles and fucking, cookie dough or whatever fucking flavors. They didn't come out there to attract adults. They are going after the children. And the reason for that is because the children, we're putting an end to the fucking tobacco industry. They were, that was finally beginning to fucking fizzle out. Even now, you hardly see anybody with a cigarette in their hand. It depends on where you are in the fucking world, or at least in the United States. But like seeing somebody with a cigarette is actually kind of rare now. Whereas it used to be every fucking person had a cigarette in their fucking fingers, myself included at some point. The kids were putting an end to it, and, the fucking evil fucking industry was like, no, we can't have this shit. We have to keep fucking making people sick and killing them, and we got to get them when they're fucking early. So why don't we just make all these fruity and fucking chocolatey fucking flavors and, and get them that way? You are actually arguing against keeping kids from fucking smoking. That is what you're fucking arguing against, you idiots. The whole they're not doing it right. How else do you inhale fucking shit into your lungs and you exhale it? There is no other way to fucking do it. Hell, even people that smoke cigars where you're not supposed to inhale the smoke, that you just draw it in and then you puff it back out. Even those people end up with like fucking mouth cancer. There is no fucking right way to inhale shit into your lungs. Your lungs were meant to fucking inhale and exhale fucking air and, CO2 or whatever the fuck it is. After, you inhale fucking oxygen, you exhale fucking the other shit. Right? That's all your lungs were meant to fucking take in. They were not meant to fucking inhale smoke. So there is no fucking right way to do it. Any way is fucking wrong. And I know that it's vapor, it's not fucking smoke. Well, you're essentially breathing in liquid. Something else that your lungs were not meant to fucking handle. Or else you'd have gills, you fucking dipshits. Vapor is essentially just liquid, right? In a cloud base or whatever, however you want to fucking define it, but it is basically just liquid. And if you continue to fucking take liquid into your lungs, eventually it turns into fucking pneumonia. Because that is what pneumonia is. You got fucking liquid in your lungs. So there's no right or wrong way to fucking smoke or vape or whatever the fuck it is that you want to call it. It's all fucking stupid. It's all fucking wrong. The black market knockoffs, I don't know. I'm going to have to go back to you're not supposed to be inhaling anything into your lungs other than fucking air, oxygen. That's it. If the knockoffs are causing an uptick in kids or people getting, getting sick or whatever, then yeah, that's a fucking problem. But you got to go back to, they're trying to nip it in the bud before it becomes a fucking epidemic, before kids and people are dropping fucking dead. How many people here would be like, thought that when the tobacco industry, if I could talk, how many think that they were in the right for telling people that, oh, no, it's fucking healthy to smoke cigarettes? I mean, back in like the 30s and shit, they were fucking saying, they were using it as like a dietary fucking supplement. They were telling people that, yeah, this is good for you. You had fucking doctors fucking smoking cigarettes. Is there anybody from the vaping fucking crowd that thinks, yeah, that was a good fucking idea? It was good to have people completely convinced that, it's okay to fucking inhale shit into your lungs. Because that's the argument you're making. And that's why it's fucking stupid. And the fact that all they're trying to do is just keep kids away from it. Why you're fighting against that, I don't fucking know. This isn't a case of, well, they can't show any fucking nudity anymore on certain fucking websites because God forbid the kids fucking see. This isn't a case of that. This is trying to keep kids from dying, you fucking dipshits. I swear to God, I hear one more person fucking, argue, try to make any sort of argument in favor of continuing to, to vape. I'm going to have to punch you in the fucking face. Because obviously you're too fucking stupid to not have a fucking bloody nose or broken jaw. I mean, obviously I'm not going to fucking do that. But goddamn, what are you arguing in favor of here? Your ability to take fucking children down with you in your fucking, on your path of fucking disease and death? That's what you're fucking arguing in favor for? Fucking idiots. I don't know. I don't understand people anymore. Another thing, right? This is, this has nothing to do with vaping, but it's a story that I read the other day about somebody named Gina Rodriguez. I think she's an actress. I'm not really sure who the fuck she is. But apparently there's video of her singing along with the fucking Fugees. And for those of you who are like, who the fuck are the Fugees? They're a fucking rap group from like the early or late 90s, early 20s or whatever. Lauryn Hill was part of it. She was singing a fucking song, and there's a part where it's like, I don't know the exact fucking lyrics, but it was like, niggas give me the heebie-jeebies that are fucking, or I get the heebie-jeebies against niggas that's not real, or some fucking shit. I don't know the lyric. But people are like, oh God, you shouldn't have said, like now you can't even sing music without somebody losing their shit. I mean, it's in the fucking song. There's a vast difference between somebody that is a racist piece of shit and refers to African Americans in that way versus somebody that actually appreciates the fucking music and shit and is just singing along with it. I think it's fucking ridiculous that they're basically trying to like end this fucking lady's career. And I don't know. I mean, maybe she's a shitty person. Maybe she deserves it. I don't know. But what I do know is that if you're going to go after people for fucking singing along to a song that has the fucking word in it, then you might as well just say, you know what? Nobody other than African Americans can listen to this. And, and if you are a recording artist, a rapper, and that's what your perspective is, I would say get ready to make $0 fucking dollars, because most of the money that rappers make are from people that are outside of the African American community. And let's be realistic. I don't even think African Americans are upset about this. I think what it is, fucking white people who always feel the need to like sort of be upset for everybody else. I think they're the ones that got upset about it. they made this fucking big stink about it. And then she had to come out and apologize for, well, I think she apologized for, for fucking liking the music or some shit. It was kind of a fucking, passive aggressive apology, but I totally get it. And, and I, to me, that was all the apology she needed to fucking make, It was just like, oh, I'm fucking sorry that you got upset for me enjoying the fucking music of my youth or some shit like that, right? Which I totally get, because it's like, this is bullshit, I mean, on top of the fact that she's Latin, so she is a woman of color. It's not like, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't even say that would be a legitimate argument against somebody that was white that was singing the fucking song. All they're doing is singing a goddamn song. Obviously, she appreciates the fucking music. She likes it. You're not going to catch like a fucking, what's the fucking guy? Paisley. Is that like his first name? I don't know. The country music fucking guy that Brad Paisley, I think his name is, that sings all the, fucking America's awesome fucking country songs. You're not going to catch him singing the fucking Fugees, right? Because he obviously, well, I don't know. Maybe he does like the Fugees. I don't know. But, to just sort of make my argument here make any fucking sense, you're not going to find somebody that their whole world is country music. You're not going to find them singing these fucking songs, because they're not going to know them, because they don't fucking like them. So obviously, if somebody's fucking singing it, it's because they, usually it's because they fucking like it. But I suspect that it's not. I mean, maybe there's a few within the African American community that are upset at this lady for fucking singing the lyrics to a song that actually fucking exists. But I'm willing to bet that a majority of the people upset are not African American. And 9 times out of 10, what that means is it's white people that feel like, well, we have to come to the defense of this group or the other, because for some reason they don't have the ability to do it themselves or some shit, which they don't even realize how like patronizing and fucking I don't know, like how fucked up that is, right? That you're essentially making it seem like the group that you're trying to defend can't defend itself, like it's not fucking smart enough or vocal enough, so you need to step in. It's that same fucking thought process from when this fucking country was founded, that white people were it was like they considered it their job to fucking teach civility to these so-called savages and shit. It's just that hundreds of years later, where it's like, well, obviously because they're not getting upset, it must be because they don't know how, so let me fucking do it for you, because obviously you don't know how to defend yourselves. Now, it could be that, African Americans probably just like, well, there's no fucking, it's a fucking song, goddamn. I don't know. Obviously, I don't speak for the African American community. Maybe they are upset, but 9 times out of 10, that's not the fucking case. Can anybody fucking explain to me why there are fucking crossing guards at stoplights? I mean, I get it when, at intersections where there are no fucking stoplights, and there's, and there's a school nearby or whatever. I get that 100%. And I appreciate crossing guards. They are obviously, doing their best to make sure, that children aren't fucking ran over. But if it's a fucking stoplight, what is your fucking purpose? I mean, obviously, if it's a red light, I'm going to fucking stop. You holding up your little fucking stop sign is not what's keeping me from going. It's the fucking light that, anybody that has a fucking driver's license has, figured out that, hey, when those fucking circles are red, that usually means fucking stop. What is the fucking purpose? And it's like, I see this all the fucking time. Like, you're not needed at fucking stoplights. You're not needed there. You're needed in the neighborhoods, right, that are around where the schools might be, where, you know, people drive like they're fucking on the freeway. In my neighborhood, they're starting to, well, at least in part of it, they're starting to install the fucking speed bumps that are not, you know, they're not the ones that you see in like fucking parking lots and shit, but those, you know, those big ones where they're not as, you know, the fucking bump isn't as dramatic, but you still have to fucking slow down or else you're gonna fuck up your car. And I honestly feel like, you know, like, yes, fucking please put those all over the fucking neighborhood, because there are a lot of fucking idiots in my neighborhood that drive like it is the fucking freeway, you know, and I don't know. It's fucking stupid. You don't, like, we don't need you at the fucking stoplight, because we know already this. Now, yeah, occasionally there's going to be some fucking dipshit that is going to blow through the fucking light, but you with your fucking, with your stop sign isn't going to stop that either, right? Because 9 times out of 10, the person that does that is too busy staring at their fucking, at their cell phone, which means they're not looking at you anyway. So the only thing that you've done is you've basically decided to, you know, be the fucking crash test dummy or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know, you're not needed at stoplights. Go to the intersections where there are no lights. That's where you're needed. That's where you should be. You know, to me, it seems like a fucking waste. It's like, what do we need you for? You know, I was going to stop anyway. You know. I don't know. Why am I such a fucking grumpy cunt today? You know, like, if you haven't figured out that I've got, like, notes, things that I want to fucking talk about. I mean, you know, usually this podcast is pretty organic. I start somewhere and then, you know, I end somewhere. But because I haven't made a podcast in so long, and there's, you know, I'm always writing down shit that, like, okay, this might be interesting or whatever. So, you know, what you are experiencing is me looking at the fucking notes on my phone, trying to, you know, figure out, like, yeah, should I fucking talk about that or fucking not? Like, for example, what do I got here? What was it? I wrote something about, this fucking ridiculous idea that only females have to deal with, like, the body image fucking standards in this country, or, you know, or really in this world, right? They don't, you know, you always hear, like, oh, why are the fucking standards so, you know, different for women than they are for men? And that is absolute fucking horseshit. It's fucking horseshit, right? Because you're looking at, like, I know that some women are like, well, there's plenty of fucking, you know, fat, ugly dudes with really beautiful women. And what you're leaving out of that fucking equation is usually that fat, fucking ugly dude, usually has money, usually has a lot of fucking money. And I'm not saying that every single woman that's dated a fat, ugly dude is a gold digging fucking whore. But 9 times out of 10, that's what it is, right? He has tons of fucking money, or he has some fucking power of some sort. He has something that can actually make their life better, right? So, yeah, I get it that some women, you know, that women can date, like, dudes that aren't as attractive as, say, they are. But when you see a dude that's, like, you know, 375 pounds, balding, you know, has a fucking huge fucking beer belly or whatever, you know, that's fucking sweating just getting up from the fucking table, and he's got like a fucking 10, you know, as a girlfriend or a wife, you can almost always assume that the reason that she's there is not because, you know, he's just a beautiful person inside. It's because he's got in his fucking wallet. You know, or whatever fucking power he may wield. That is what you're witnessing. You know, yeah, are there fucking outliers out there where it's like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, of course there's outliers where that fucking happens, but 9 times out of fucking 10, it's because that dude has tons of fucking money. Okay. And ladies, if you were being honest with yourself, you'd admit that, you know, you do have some standards of your own, right? You know, let's say you're not a money fucking or a gold digging whore. You're just a regular fucking lady. And I hope you realize that I'm saying gold digging whore is, you know, I'm trying to get under your fucking skin. Okay. Settle down. I'm just trying to fucking be obnoxious. I almost said obnoxious. I'm trying to be obnoxious here. But let's just say you're just a regular fucking girl. You recognize that, yeah, I'm attractive. Tell me, who has a better shot with you? A dude that looks like fucking, people used to say like, oh, Brad Pitt, but he's starting to look kind of old and fucking, I don't know. Maybe there are some people that think he looks fucking good still. I don't know. But just, you know, I don't know who's considered like a fucking one of the Hemsworth brothers or whatever, right? They're pretty attractive dudes. Who's got a better chance with you? One of the Hemsworth brothers or a guy that looks like fucking Norm from fucking Cheers? And if you don't know who the fuck that is, basically some big fat slob dude that, you know, and he doesn't have money. You know, he doesn't, I mean, you know, he might have, you know, he'll have a job. I mean, he'll have money, but not like, you know, change your life money, right? Who has a better chance of catching your attention and getting your fucking phone number or, you know, or fucking, let's skip to the fucking chase. Who has a better chance of fucking getting, you know, of you having sex with? You know, if you're honest, you're going to admit that, you know, yeah, probably the Liam or the Hemsworth fucking brothers or whatever, they probably have a better shot because, you know, they're handsome guys and they're in shape and, you know, they're not big fat fucking slobs, right? So that fucking body image thing, it exists on both sides of the fucking of the aisle. The only difference is that a big, fat, sloppy, nasty woman probably, you know, no matter how much money she has, probably can't get a dude that would normally be, you know, fucking top shelf, you know, dick or whatever, you know. It doesn't work in that way. So in that respect, yes, it's different for you. But when it comes to just, you know, regular dude versus regular woman, you know, if a dude, I mean, he doesn't have to be in fucking, you know, Captain America fucking shape, but he has to at least, you know, there has to be something decent about him. Yes, I know that there are women out there that can accept a guy with a little bit of fucking pounds or whatever, you know, and it's the same for us. Right? Not every one of us wants a, you know, like for me, example, like I do not find the chicks with the fucking muscles and the big ass fucking thighs. I don't find that attractive at all. Nor do I find, you know, women that are extremely fucking bony and they look frail. I don't find that attractive at all. I like women with a little meat on their bones. And I don't care if you're, you know, not in perfect fucking shape, you know. But yeah, you know, for women, yeah, you can accept a guy that's, you know, and he's in decent shape, or maybe he's not even, you know, really in shape, but he's not some fucking fat slob or whatever, you know. And I mean, you have to admit that when it comes to that, you're going to be like, you know, there's this guy over here with the fucking 6-pack, and there's the guy over here that looks like he just drank a 6-pack. You know, I'm pretty sure making the decision just outright is going to be based on the guy that looks better, right? Looks more fucking physically fit. Now, you talk to either one, you might find out that the physically fit dude is a complete fucking douche, and the guy that looks like he fucking drinks a 6-pack a night might be the nicest guy in the fucking planet. But your initial reaction is, dude with the fucking 6-pack, I'm going to fucking give it to him. It's only after you've talked to him and you realize, oh, that guy's a fucking asshole. That's when you're like, all right, well, let me see what the guy that drinks 6-packs has to fucking say. You know, maybe he is a good shit. You know. So yeah, that was one of my fucking thoughts that I wrote down that I probably, you know, didn't do it justice, but I'm fucking sick of hearing this, like, oh, the body image standard is so much worse for no, it's not. No, it's not. You know, we have to be in decent shape. If we don't have tons of fucking money, right? Which I know, again, sort of paints this picture that, women are all like gold diggers. No, obviously not every woman is. But, like if we don't have that sort of thing, like if we don't have tons of money, or we don't have tons of power, or we're not a fucking athlete, or a fucking fireman or whatever, if we're just a regular fucking dude, we have to look at least presentable, right? Which is really all that most men expect from you. Just look presentable, Now, yeah, there are some dudes out there like, the woman must fucking have a little tiny waist. She must be shaped like a fucking hourglass, and she can't have any fucking cellulite. I mean, yeah, sure, those guys fucking exist, but I would say that they are the minority when it comes to most men. Most men don't care that you're not fucking perfect. We don't expect you to be perfect. In fact, most of us are intimidated by fucking perfection, especially if the perfection that you have is natural. Now, if you're one of these women that fucking, enhanced your shit, like, like the Kardashian weasel creatures or whatever, they're not intimidating, because it's like, well, you fucking sort of bought that look. You don't normally look that way. Although I've seen pictures of like Kim Kardashian before all the fucking work that she's had done. She was actually a decent looking chick. I don't know what happened in that fucking family where everybody decided that they must, inject copious amounts of fucking crap into their bodies. Obviously there's some self-esteem issues there. But she looked decent before all of that. Now she just looks fucking like cartoonish. Most of these women that have the fucking ass implants, it looks fucking cartoonish, and I don't know. To me, it's not appealing. I know that for some dudes that is appealing, but for me, and I think I can confidently say that for most men, it's like like to me. Like a woman, and I know this is going to sound like I'm fucking, putting you down or whatever, or thinking less of you or whatever. For me, women that do these sort of body modification, to me, that's a huge red flag that there's some definite self-esteem issues there. And that's probably going to translate into different aspects of your personality, not just your body, but just your overall outlook on life. And to me, there's nothing worse than being with a woman with super low self-esteem, because 9 times out of 10, she ends up being fucking crazy. She's the type that'll just go through all your shit. You'll have these like knockdown, drag out fucking fights where she accuses you of cheating with every fucking woman, in the fucking neighborhood. To me, if you're enhancing shit, it's kind of a red flag. Now, I know for some of you, obviously, maybe that's not the case. Maybe you're just like, well, I wanted a bigger booty. Yeah, my booty was great, but I wanted a bigger one, or I wanted bigger tits, or I wanted fucking fuller lips, or what. I know that, obviously in every group, the outlier exists where it's not a case of, low self-esteem. But 9 times out of 10, that is exactly what it is. And for me, that's a huge red flag. If you're going to the extent of changing your body, and I mean, and it doesn't even have to be, what do you call it? You don't even have to get plastic surgery. If you're one of these, like I've never been attracted to women that wear like super revealing clothes, right? Where their tits are fucking popping out of their shirt, or they're fucking, they're wearing minis. Like, to me, I mean, it's nice to look at, but it's not, to me, that's never been attractive, because to me, that's saying, hey, I don't have anything else that might attract you, so I'll just put everything out there and hope that works. To me, that's another red flag that, okay, there's something not right there. Now, is every single woman that does this, is it a self-esteem issue? Again, no. Is every single woman that does this or has these self-esteem problems going to be a fucking psycho? Again, no. But 9 times out of 10, that's usually the fucking case, right? Or if, like these women that are like killing themselves in the fucking gym, right? I don't know. I mean, there's healthy levels of fucking working out, and then there's, I'm trying to fill a fucking void in my life sort of a thing. And to me, these are all fucking red flags that I usually avoid, or would avoid. I don't want to deal with fucking that kind of an issue, some degree. I mean, everybody's got some self-esteem issues to one degree or another. But if it's like, if the issues you have sort of start, fucking sniffing, like crazy fucking levels of low self-esteem or whatever. Yeah, it's just, to me, it's like, yeah, you might be fucking absolutely gorgeous, but I don't want to deal with that. I've dealt with crazy fucking insecure women, with fucking self-esteem issues, and that, couldn't go out of the house without fucking makeup, or wore like used any opportunity whatsoever to fucking, like expose something, I've been with, and it's never ended well. It's never ended well. It's always been a fucking nightmare, so, I fucking, I act, with caution or with experience, like, yep. What, I've dealt with that a few times. Probably, this might be the one that, that even though there's all these fucking red flags shooting up, maybe she's normal, but I'm not willing to fucking take that chance. I've been burnt far too many times by women like that, and I'm not quite sure how I got here. I think I was talking about how guys are fucking subjected to the body image thing too. I don't know how I got all the way to this fucking point, but it's kind of how this podcast works for people new to the fucking program, new to the podcast. I go off on tangents. Sometimes they relate to what I originally was talking about. Sometimes it turns into something completely different, but that's what you get with this fucking podcast. I don't know. Should I end it here? Let's see. Let's look at my fucking notes to see if there's really any fucking thing that I wanted to talk about but haven't had a chance to, since it's been a while since I did a fucking podcast. Here's something. I don't know. There was a discarded fucking dildo on the fucking expressway. I was going to work. I just happened to look out my window to my right, and I noticed there was a dildo of significant proportions. To be, I don't know. It was a huge fucking dildo. All right. It was discarded on the side of the road, and to me, it just sort of, I don't know, it stuck out as like, there's something poetic there, right? That, well, if any, I mean, maybe not poetic, but I've got to wonder, like, was the person like walking around, not walking, but like on an expressway, so they were just like, they were carrying it with them in the car, where they were just like, fuck this thing, I don't need this anymore, Was it being used prior, like in the car? Is it a case of a dude driving around with his girl and she whips out this huge fucking dildo and he gets upset and he's like, what the fuck are you doing with that? And like throws it out the fucking window. Like, how did it end up on the side of the fucking road of the expressway? How did it end up there? Was it like, did they like fucking, like kind of like when you have like a coffee cup and you put it on the top of your fucking car and you're getting ready to get in and you just sort of forget until you hit the brakes and the cup comes fucking flying. Was it like a case of that where they were like, I'm going to fucking bring this, and they put it on the fucking roof and then they drive away and it's like, oh fuck. They get home and they're like, where is my fucking giant dildo? Like, how the fuck did it end up there? Was it a case of like, assuming it was a woman, I mean, it could have been a dude, But, you know, let's just assume for my fucking peace of mind that it was woman. Was it like, well, you know what? I just found a dude that treats me well and, you know, and can really fucking take care of me in the bedroom, so I don't fucking need this shit. So she just, you know, she drives down the road and she's like, you know, I don't want to throw it in the fucking dumpster because somebody will be like, well, you know, what the fuck was she doing with that? You know, maybe it was just like, you know, I'm just going to find a place to fucking ditch it. You know, kind of like when people are like, you know, they have dogs that they no longer want. They just go to some fucking obscure place and fucking, you know, take them out of the car or whatever and pretend like they're, you know, getting ready to play fucking fetch, and they, you know, they throw something and then they, you know, get in the fucking car and they drive away. I don't know. Was it the case of that? You know, how did it end up on the side of the fucking road? You know, I mean, there's a fucking story there, right? And the other thing is, it's like, well, somebody's gonna have to fucking pick that up eventually, right? You know, because, you know, you see the fucking city workers and shit with their, you know, orange vests. And I mean, I don't know. That got me to thinking, like, okay, what's the weirdest fucking thing that, you know, if you are one of these people, what's the weirdest fucking thing that you found on the side of the road? I'd have to assume that a giant fucking dildo is probably high on that list of weird shit. I mean, you know, besides like a body or something like that, or like somebody, like a human fucking head or some shit. I mean, you know, obviously, yes, those will fucking definitely take the cake. But outside of just like gruesome shit, what is the weirdest fucking thing these people have found on the side of the road, right? And how do you react to, like, oh, well, there's a giant fucking dildo? You know, do you just like, you know, do you treat it like, well, you know, like you found like a discarded fucking water bottle, you just use the grabber and you pick? Is there any discussion going on about the giant dildo that's been discarded on the side of the road? You know, it's just, I don't know. The weird shit you'll see. Like, occasionally you'll see like underwear. I get that you know, like, I get shoes. Like, when you see shoes, it's like, okay, somebody probably had their foot hanging out of the fucking, out the window, and, you know, a gust of wind or whatever, it took it off. Now, why they didn't come back for it, I don't fucking know. But I get shoes. The underwear, you know, to me, it obviously always goes to somewhere sinister, right? It's like, okay, some lady got fucking, you know, like raped, and, you know, and somehow her underwear ended up out of the, you know, like on the fucking road. I always go to that very negative place. Or it could just be a case of a dude that, you know, cheated on his girl and for some reason had the girl that he cheated with underwear on him, and he was like, fuck, I gotta get these out of here. You know, it's just, how do these things end up on the side of the road? I mean, I know that occasionally you'll see like somebody's moving, right? And I mean, that could be where the dildo came from, right? They were moving, you know, and the box that they had it in came off the fucking, off the top of the roof or whatever, and everything went spilling. But the weird thing is with this dildo and with the underwear is that usually, like if somebody's, like, if their belongings have come off of their fucking car when they're moving, you know, usually there's evidence that, okay, this was part of a move, right? Like, if you see, you know, like, what have I seen on the fucking road? Like a child's, you know, like one of those little fucking, you know, like when the little fucking bikes or whatever, little plastic fucking bikes. Like, if you see one of those on the side of the road, and, you know, and usually there's like some, you know, some clothing or some other shit, it's like, okay, yeah, that fell off the back of a fucking truck. You know, it wasn't just a case of somebody's like, you know, we don't need this fucking bike anymore, and just toss it out the fucking window. You know, usually there's some paraphernalia that this was part of a move. But with this giant fucking discarded dildo, there was no other fucking paraphernalia around. And 9 times out of 10, when I see the discarded underwear, there's no other fucking evidence that this was just like, you know, a freak accident. You know, are women driving around throwing their fucking underwear out the window? You know, did you pee on yourself and you're like, fuck, I can't go home? Or maybe it's a case of, maybe the women were cheating, and they're like, fuck, my, the inside of my underwear is, pretty much a crime scene right now, so I better take these off. And, although I would think that it would be probably harder to explain why you showed up without fucking panties on. I don't know what is going on with people, but yeah, this discarded dildo. And the weird thing is like, I just saw it for like, I don't know, couple of seconds as I was driving by, but all of these thoughts, because I'm a fucking lunatic, started running through my head, and I don't get it. Like, I need to know what the fucking story is with that, like, did you just, obviously the chances of the person that lost this fucking dildo is not listening to this fucking to this podcast, but if for some fucking weird reason you are, please tell me how your fucking giant dildo ended up on the side of the road, because it's fucking, I saw this like maybe a month or two ago, and it's still like, what the fuck is up with that goddamn dildo? I don't know. And bravo if you can handle something that fucking size, Jesus Christ. It must, I know it's sort of fucking cliche, but it definitely must be like hot dog thrown down a fucking hallway, because that thing was no joke. But anyway, I'm going to end this fucking podcast here. It's, going on an hour. This is the longest podcast I've done in a while, so for those of you that, listen to this podcast, or that, long-time listeners, that I usually cut it off around 30 to 40 minutes. So you get an extra, 20 something minutes or whatever. For those of you new to the podcast, obviously I just kind of said what I usually do. It's like usually 30, 40 minutes. This time, obviously I had tons of shit to fucking talk about, and hopefully I'll be able to give you guys another podcast next week or the week after, and hopefully I won't let this, or the same amount of time go by, between this podcast and the next one. And I do feel like this one is actually going to get posted. So I don't know. Welcome back to me, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Fucking just like always. Don't take any shit. Go fuck yourself. And please, somebody, for the love of fucking God, explain to me how a giant dildo ended up on the side of the fucking road. All right. Peace.